do this. Okay. Hi, I'm Amie Smith. I'm the owner and pastry chef at AMIE Bakery in Osterville, Massachusetts. Today we're on the road in the Hudson Valley. It's beautiful here, and this is sort of a foodie mecca. And we went to visit our friends at Gardner Bakehouse, and Rochelle opened her bakery about 6 months ago, and she is absolutely crushing it. So we went to support her and see what she's doing. We have a lot of similar stories as far as starting a bakery is concerned. So while I was here, I thought I would make a fruit tart, and it's a classic pastry cream tart with fresh fruit here from the Hudson Valley. I'm going to show you how to make a simple crust. This one is actually going to be gluten-free and a few simple ingredients, and then we will make the pastry cream and fill it and decorate it with beautiful fruit. So what we have for ingredients is the almond flour. We have some gluten-free flour with a little salt, and then we have some powdered sugar, and we have some cornstarch and some butter, cold butter, and an egg. So what we're going to do is take all our dry ingredients and put it in the bowl. And when you're working with dry ingredients for any recipe, it's always a good idea to mix them first so that everything is evenly dispersed. All right, so you take all your dry ingredients, you just want to give it a quick mix so that everything is evenly dispersed. You should always make a habit of doing this with your dry ingredients. I like to do it in the KitchenAid to make fast work of it. And then the powdered sugar, if you see any lumps, you just use the best tools in the kitchen with your hands. I didn't spend any time sifting it. It's really not that lumpy, so I'm just giving it a quick zhuzh. So now we're going to take our cold butter and we're going to put it in the bowl. And what you're always looking for when you're making a crust is the pea-size bits of butter. And once this becomes pea-size butter, then we're going to add the egg. So it just has to go for a few minutes, and it's going to look sort of like sand. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, I always like to say to people in our classes at AMIE Academy that you could do this while you're camping in the woods. And what I mean by that is we don't need all these fancy tools. You have the best tools right here, your hands, and you can just do this with your hands. You could mix the dries really easily and just rub the butter into the dry mix. So you really don't need a KitchenAid, but it does make fast work of it. So you can see the little bits of butter work nicely. And then I'm going to add my egg, and I'm going to let it come together. And then what we need to do is we need to make sure that after this comes together that we chill it. And that is very, very important for pie crust. It should be very cold before you work with it. Yeah. So what you can see is the dough is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Anything in baking, it's all miraculous. I was not the nerd club president for nothing in pastry school. I just think this is all so fascinating, and it's soft and it's gorgeous, and it does need to chill for a bit, but while it's chilling, we're going to make the pastry cream. So now I'm just pressing it between the wrap. I'm going to put this in a nice little disc for rolling out. You start with kind of a circle, then it makes it easy to roll out. And that needs to go in the fridge. So now we're making pastry cream, and pastry cream is like the best vanilla pudding you could imagine. And when I was growing up, my mother used to use the Mighty Fine pudding mix, and you just add milk and you stir it till it thickens on the stove, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this is like, I don't know, once you do this, you just can't go back. So basically, it's simple ingredients that are in your pantry. You have milk, you have sugar, cornstarch, egg yolks, and there's 2 whole eggs, vanilla, and butter. I mean, what could be bad with that, right? So what we're going to end up doing is heating up the milk with just a little bit of sugar, and then we're going to mix the rest of these ingredients together, except the butter and vanilla go last. But the one thing you do not want to do with pastry cream is walk away, okay? And also you're going to get a workout. So if you're interested in fitness, this is the recipe for you. So if you pour some of the milk in here and part of the sugar, we're going to heat this up. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is take the cornstarch and I'm going to make a slurry with this a little bit. You want to make sure that this is not lumpy. Just going to make sure that it's all mixed together in here. Heat the milk with the sugar. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the eggs in here. And what you want to make sure you also don't do is leave the sugar on top of the egg yolks, because we're going to add the sugar to this egg mixture and it will burn the egg yolks. So what we're going to do is make sure that we stir this together. Get our slurry in here. And again, I'm going to need a spatula to wipe some of this out of here. So it's already looking like gorgeous pastry cream. And the other key thing is you want to temper the milk once it's warmed up into here. Probably wouldn't recommend doing it in a little container like this. A bowl would be great. I could go like this and have it be a little wider. And the cornstarch is going to thicken it. And the thing that you need to make sure that you do after you marry these two together is to make sure you don't stop mixing and that you cook out the starch, or you're going to have a very grainy effect. So now a lot of people approach pastry cream in different ways. One time I saw a chef just dump everything in the pot and just heat it up and mix. So there's more than one way to skin the cat, but this is how I was taught. And what we're going to do is once the milk is heated up, we're going to start adding it in here to temper it. And then we're going to pour this whole thing back in the pot and let it cook. And that's where you cannot walk away. But you can already see, imagine this gorgeous pale yellow liquid being nice thick pudding. So what I'm going to do is take my ladle, and it's warm. I'm going to take this and start tempering it in here. And I'm going to do it slowly. This is so we don't get scrambled eggs. I'm going to get some more. And then maybe just a little bit more. And then once this is together, we're going to pour this back into here. And you just continue to stir. And this is going to be like watching paint dry for a bit. And you just keep stirring. And this is going to thicken. And then once this thickens, you are going to cut the heat and keep going. You just don't want this to burn, but you have to stay here. Did I make my point that you can't walk away? And I have the butter and vanilla on standby because once that's thickened and we cut the heat, then we'll put the butter and vanilla in. It's a very boring recipe in that regard because it's a lot of stirring. And also I might add, because it takes so long and you can't walk away, if you think about the labor it takes to make this, it's more expensive to make this from scratch. And a lot of places just buy this pre-made in buckets, which is, you know, fine. But this really tastes so authentic and there's just no replacement for it. We're using vanilla extract, but if you even want to elevate it more, like a vanilla bean is off the charts. And then what's going to happen is after this is done cooking, we're going to strain it and then we're going to refrigerate it. And then this is going to go in our tart shell. You don't want to miss it. It's starting to thicken up a little bit. Like if you could feel it on the bottom, and you got to keep moving. But you have to make sure you cook out the cornstarch or the mouthfeel is going to be horrible. And for those of you watching, my arm is killing me. But science is delicious. Look at that, gorgeous thickening is happening. It's happening. I just cut the heat. I'm going to continue to cut. And then I want to put my butter in. Whew. Okay. And this is going to give it some richness. I'm just going to keep. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I'm going to add my vanilla. This is what happens in live TV on the road. I forgot to add a pinch of salt, and you need salt, so I'm just putting it in now. Salt balances the sweet. I'm going to strain this into another bowl. So now what we're going to do is strain it. So what you're going to do is run this through here. And this is a step that you should not skip. Yeah, so we're staying in New Paltz. It's a lovely little town. It's 5 miles from the Gardner Bake Shop. It's a really beautiful community. And it's only just over 4 hours from Cape Cod. And the mountains are beautiful. Lots of deer. The smell is just amazing. You really just want to stick your face in this whole pot. This was a light workout today, and it's really satisfying to scrape it off on the other side. And so what you're going to want to do is put this on a sheet tray and cool it in a thin layer, and you want to make sure that you put the film, the plastic wrap on top. Guess what happens? You get a skin if you do it with the film not touching the top of the cream. My mother used to love the skin that would be on top of the pudding that she would make. As I got older, I kind of liked it too, but in the early days, no, I was a very fussy eater. Yeah, so if you can imagine, like this is the process we go through at the shop. Everything is done like this with lots of love and a lot of time and real whole ingredients. Nothing out of a bucket for our fillings. Our curds are done the same way. I just really admire chefs that work so neatly and have clean clothes. I can't work without making a mess. It's my gift. I think I have a pass on bicep curls for the next couple of days. This is going to make a lot more than we need for that tart shell, but I will say this. If you have extra cream here, you could just put this in a bowl and add some fruit on top and eat it, make a parfait. That's really lovely. And I want to talk about lightning pastry cream, because when we did that in pastry school, when you say something is light, you think dietetic, right? Pepsi Light, for those that are as old as me. When you lighten pastry cream, does not mean it's dietetic at all. You're taking whipped cream. You make whipped cream, you beat some heavy cream, and then you fold it into this, and it makes this very light. So it's nothing to do with being less calories or lighter or dietetic. It is just makes something wonderful even more wonderful and more fattening. But there are no calories in pastry, so just enjoy it. You only live once. All right, so now this is all strained. It's all good to go. And we're going to just put some film on it and put it in the fridge. You can put this on a sheet tray lined with plastic wrap. Spread it in a thin layer that chills it faster. Oh, but wait, I didn't taste it. Hold on. We have to make sure that it's actually good.
Oh boy.
Tell me what you think.
Oh my God.
If I wasn't on camera, I just put my face in that bowl. Oh my gosh. So that is happiness in a bowl. Yes, we don't want any skin. So you just want to make sure that it touches the cream. No skin forming. And I'm going to put this in the fridge. That's it. All right, so the dough has been chilling, and when I was in pastry school, we used to hear this banging from the other room. This was everybody banging out their, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me? I can't take it. I cannot take it. Get that off of here. Where is the... No one on any cooking show has ever experienced an ant running on set. I'm never going to be the same. God, thank God that was wrapped. Where did that thing got? It's so gross. Okay. As I was saying, this is how they were banging out the butter for their croissants. So now you can do the same thing for your tart shell. And so I'm going to put a little parchment in the bottom. You don't have to, but I like to. And we're going to roll this out. Just want to make sure it doesn't stick. We're using gluten-free flour, so a couple things you're not sure it's going to work out. See, it's sticking a little bit. It's all right. If it pulls like that, I'm just going to keep this floured nicely and hope that it doesn't, yeah. So it's cold, and I just want to get it thin enough so I can work it into this. Majority of this is almond flour. So it's going to be a little crumbly because we're doing it gluten-free. So it's not going to be the same and holding together like it would if it was a regular crust with more flour than almond flour. And so now you're going to watch on live TV as this does not work because it's sticking to the counter. So what we're going to end up doing, once I get this off, because it's warming up very quickly, is just kind of scooch it along. So I like to make things work with pastry. I'm just going to pick this up put it in here. I'm gonna work it into here because, like I said, this is mostly almond flour, and the recipe had called for more, you know, regular flour and then some, just a small amount of almond flour. So we kind of reverse engineered this just a little bit. So I'm just gently pressing it in. And I'm also going to chill this again before I put it in the oven. As you can see, it's not like the most elegant here, but it's very, very soft. So this is not your typical crust that's holding together with some gluten development. And I don't want the walls to be too thick, but kind of even it out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dock this with a fork. Docking is poking holes in it so that it doesn't rise up. So you're just going to go like that. There are also very neat dockers, and I'm more, as we call in pastry school, rustic. So I just kind of poke the dough. I'm just treating it like I would if it wasn't gluten-free. Look, we're going to see what happens. I want this to be cold, and the most important thing is that it stays together and that it's going to hold the pastry cream. Otherwise, we're screwed. Okay? That's it. We have mini. We actually have, look at this, folks. We have a mini. So with this one, this is what I'm going to do is, this is so warm and pliable. I think what I'm going to do is just press it in. Actually, I'll try to roll it flat just a little bit to get, you know what I mean? See, it's very sticky, but just to get it, you know, flattened out a little bit. Yeah. All right, I'm going to wing this one also. Put this in like this. A little extra dough here. I'm going to just, so if you ever have pastry fails like I do, everybody does, doesn't matter how much experience you have, you can just do something else with it. Like, so for example, if I was going to somebody's house for dinner and I was bringing, you know, what I wanted to be a pastry, a fruit tart, and let's say it doesn't work out with the crust, then I'm just going to put some whipped cream together and I'm going to make a layered parfait. Nobody will be the wiser. The other thing you can do is, this will bake off, and if it doesn't hold its shape, then I would probably grind it up and use it as some crunch in the tart shell. So don't be afraid to experiment like we're doing here on our very first episode, which was not in the original plan, but that's okay. And I'm gonna chill that. We'll have a baby. Chocolate covered ants and all.
Sounds good.
Smooth it out. Swedish chef here. It's a little soft. Just gonna let that cool. call that good. Especially since the sides are getting... I'm gonna let it cool a little bit before I try to remove it. So, how am I gonna do this? I just want to spoon it in so it's nice and neat. So beautiful. I'm just going to arrange some nice strawberry slices. I like different designs depending on my mood. I like to fill in the gaps, you know, and I want it to look nice and full. That looks pretty, right? And then I always like to give this a little, and I think this just adds a little bling to it. You know, it's a little shine. I just think it adds a little dressing. Voila! All right, gonna put the fruit on, and then good night, Gracie.
Is that from something?
Oh God, don't even get me going. They end up, no matter what, you know, it just ends up, it's so pretty. You know, it's just this beautiful fruit. It's a little glaze for a little shine. All the Jersey bakeries would glaze their fruit. Presenting the Hudson Valley Fruit Tart. Ta-da! Oh my God.
Not bad for gluten-free. That's good.
So you're gonna need like a fork.
Oh wow. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
The shell is so good.
It's like an almond cookie base.
Good.
That's really good.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. That is to die for. Amazing.
Wow. Wow.
That was worth every ounce of pain and suffering. Don't need to be a on camera. I actually hope this works.
The video or the
No,
pastry?
the pastry. This will be the heavy breathing video.